All right, hello, students. Several of you, many of you really have not turned in the algebra modeling project. And I think that one of the reasons, and something I've heard, is that it was hard for many of you to do. And so you didn't turn it in because you didn't know how to do it. And so, what I'm trying to do in this video is give you another way of approaching the project. It is still due, it will still count for a grade. You are still able to do it, and I know you're capable of doing it. It just takes some effort and asking for help. And one of the things that I do very often as your math teacher is use Google to find example problems. And so I want you to make sure you've watched the other two videos I made where I make up example problems. But for some of you, that may have been hard to be able to think of the problems yourself. So I want to show you another way where you use Google to try to find example problems that you can then tweak to make your own project. So, for example, on the project, it says that you need to have one variable linear equations. So just type into Google one variable linear equations, but we want word problems, so just type in word problems. And let's see what comes up when we look at this. We could watch a video, or we could step on down and click on any one of these links here. Um, Maybe we just look at word problems on linear equations. I don't know if this is going to be any good, but I just want to show you an example of using Google to find it. And so we've got down here some word problems. This one right here isn't really too useful in my opinion because it just sort of talks about numbers in abstract. It doesn't give you really any story problem. So let's just keep scrolling down and see if we find any sort of story problems. We got something about a rectangle. Maybe you could use that if you were talking about something that involves shapes. You could probably talk about a rectangle. Here we have talking about the ages of two different people. I'm sure you could use something like that. Let's see, Aaron is 5 years younger than Ron. 4 years later, Ron will be twice as old as Aaron. You could change the ages here to the prices of things and say, okay, um, one thing is $5 cheaper than another thing, and then if the price goes up by $4 because of inflation, then the other thing will be twice as the first thing. So you can change these word problems to work. That's another one just about numbers. Here we have another one about ages. Here's a real usable one. The cost of two tables and three chairs is 705, and if the table costs $40 more than the chair, find the cost of the table and the chair. And so using those, you should be able to come up with your two one variable linear equations. And so then I'm just going to go back to Google here. And all we have to do to change it to our second thing is instead of talking about one variable linear equations, let's just change that word equations to inequalities. One variable linear inequalities word problems. You've got some things that pop up. Looks like maybe a Khan Academy article might be good to look at. Let's see what they have here for their word problems in Khan Academy. Let's see, linear inequalities. They give us a couple example of a statements. It'll take at least 30 minutes writing it as an inequality. And like I asked you to do many times, giving you example solutions. I wouldn't pay more than $6 for a sandwich. Giving you some examples of $4 or $5.50. And you'll see here, actually, this is coming from their SAT practice. So it's not just for my class that I'm asking you to work on these. It's you will also use this when you do take an SAT. You can watch a video. You can see here there's a little bit of an example word problem talking about riding the subway and walking. And you could just change that problem slightly for your own project. Same sort of thing when you switch it to, instead of one variable, you can switch it to two variable here. And let's just see what comes up when we type in two variable linear equalities word problems. Oh, looks like Khan Academy here has our practice problems. And so just by clicking on this, I kind of see what comes up. We have something about a robot filtering pollution. here and the rate. And so you can use this, and maybe you don't know how to solve this problem. The nice thing about Khan Academy is you can just sort of click right here and get a hint, and it'll show you step by step how to solve it. And you can take this right here and you could even type that into Desmos and use that to create your graph. And so the purpose of this video was to show you that just by typing in the keywords from the project handout, you can get examples off of Google, and then your job is to just put them into your own words. Don't plagiarize, don't take exactly what is off of Google. It's really important to make sure that you're putting it in your own words and that you're using your own creativity to get this thing done. But the bottom line is, I know you can do it, and you can and should use Google for help if you get stuck. So thank you, and please ask questions if you need anything. That was one of the parts of the project, is that you asked questions if you needed help.